What's up, guys? Dr. Seth here, back to solve more of your powerlifter problems. So if you guys have been here for a while, you might remember the days when I was literally a walking pec strain. It was like every single time I would grind a bench at all, I'd have a pec pop. I'd have just a little bit of bruising come up. I'd feel like the fiber, like it'd get hot and feel like a ball of yarn was getting tugged across my chest. It was not a fun time, and it was like literally every single time I benched heavy, every single time I had a press get slow, it would pop. And it was literally to the point where the guy that was spotting me, I'd communicate with him like, hey, if this bar slows down, just fucking take it because I don't want to have my pec pop. And there were a lot of times where the guy was even late, and I'd end up yelling like, you didn't take it soon enough, because like my pec would just go. Like, it wasn't good at all. It wasn't good for anything. It was just useless. And we go way back, like I first tore my left pec. It was a muscle belly tear in, I think it was fall 2015. I was benching, it was second rep of 405 versus double mini. So like my bench was strong back then, and just the pec let go. It was a big muscle belly tear. It wasn't operated on just because the muscle belly, they just be sewing up mass. So I got like a nice little ball of shit that kind of comes up when I contract now. That's beside the point. But ever since then, or for a long time after that, that pec felt super vulnerable. And then all of a sudden, it's like my right pec started tweaking, my right pec started popping, and my right pec started feeling super vulnerable. And the reason the vulnerability arose wasn't necessarily because of the tear itself. It was because that I bought into your pec tore because your pecs are vulnerable and you need to protect your pecs. So I avoided doing any pec work at all because I thought that it was tearing and it was popping because I was doing too much. I was dead ass fucking wrong with that. And that's why my pec was a problem. And that's why my right pec became a problem. And that's why the problem lasted for so many years. Like, it wasn't really until, hell, 2021 where I figured this shit out. So it was a good 6 years where my pecs were total dog shit and my bench had not moved at all, just because I couldn't really even train bench without risking a pec strain. And I was doing what I thought was right because I was doing what everyone else was telling me. I was doing what people were saying. I wasn't training my pecs because, like, you listen to Matt Wenning, he says, oh, you're training your pecs are gonna tear, blah, 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 blah. All that bullshit. Like, no, that's fucking wrong, because if you don't train your pecs are going to be weak and shitty, and as soon as your pecs need to do their job, they're not gonna be able to do it just because they're weak and shitty from not training them. What got my pec issues to go away entirely was literally just having the switch flip in my mind and realizing that if something is breaking, if something is weak, if something is vulnerable, we need to train it so it becomes less vulnerable. And one of the first things that I started doing with my pecs is like, okay, I'm going to pick the thing that I am the absolute shittiest at, the thing that I cannot do at all, and I'm going to get better at it. And that was a dip. So I started out on an assisted dip machine with like literally 200 pounds of assistance that I needed just to be able to do a dip. And it's like, okay, I got pretty good with 200 pounds of resistance. I went to 180, I went to 160, I went to 140. And all of a sudden, like, in a matter of, I think it was about 6 to 8 weeks, I was able to do dips with 345 pound plates hanging from me at my full range extent. And I felt phenomenal. And at that same time, it's like my pecs stopped scaring me on pressing. As I got better at the dips, as I got better at taking my pec to lengthen position under load, as I got better at controlling my scapular position along with my glenohumeral joint, with the pec, with the serratus, things started feeling better. I started to trust it more. I started to trust my bench again, and I started to be less afraid of benching. And I just kept looking for more and more ways to find ways to challenge my pec, find ways to build ability, find ways to make the thing work harder, and find ways to make it more durable. I started doing more dumbbell flies. I started doing dumbbell flies with a foam roller on my back to get more length and get more scapular range. I started adding in deficit push-ups on almost a daily basis just to get a super high frequency stretch stimulus for the pec. And it's like, the more I did for it, the stronger it got, the better my bench started to feel. And now it's like my bench as a 260 pounder is going to surpass where I was at 320 not too long ago. And it's just like, I've never felt this confident pressing. I've never felt this stable pressing. I've never felt this in control of the bottom end. And it's literally because I'm actually training my pecs. And I know that people who weren't bought into that, like, vulnerability, protect the pecs, do board presses bullshit, are probably looking at me like, Seth, you're a fucking dumbass for believing that. But that's what I believed. And it's like, if we have false beliefs, it's what we believe, and it's so hard to see that those beliefs need to change until we have the evidence that shows us that they can change. And it's like, my adductor stuff that I was going through more recently, that's kind of what helped me shift that belief, and that's what made me realize that, like, hey, I can actually train my pecs, they're gonna get better. And it's like, since I've adapted this philosophy, stuff is so, I don't want to say easy, but it's like, it becomes so easy to fix issues, it becomes so easy to fix painful ranges, just because if we know a range is painful, we know that we're perceiving vulnerability, and then we just get better at using that range, and we're gonna get better at using it, and everything's gonna get stronger, and we're gonna learn to trust ourselves there, and we're gonna feel better with that trust, we're gonna be able to perform better with that trust, and we're gonna be stronger because we're actually gonna be able to train, and we're gonna be stronger because we trust ourselves, so we can actually put force into the barbell. So guys, do not be afraid of training. If you are straining a muscle repeatedly, even if you're straining a muscle for the first time, that doesn't mean train it less. That means find ways to train it more so that you can get it stronger. And if you guys know anyone with strains, if you guys know anyone with repeated strains, whether it's a pec, whether it's a bicep, whether it's a hamstring, whether it's an adductor, whether it's a quad, get them to train it and send them this video. Thank you so much. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day.